morning. My name is Lee Ali with Wise Investments LLC. I mentioned last week, and then I mentioned again that I'm going through a bunch of schooling, and I wanted to touch on that very quickly. What am I doing? The first thing I'm doing is trying to finish up my MBA. I've been doing this for a couple of years online, and I was taking courses, and I just sped it up earlier this year, and I'm trying to finish it before June or July. Second thing I'm doing is going through my broker's license, and that requires a lot of classes, about 120 hours of training, especially in appraisals. I found it to be a very important topic. The third thing I'm doing is going through an intensive investment banking course in New York. That helps me in valuing, how to value a company. That was what I wanted to learn, because I'm going into certain areas in private equity where I needed to learn how to value companies. I know how to value real estate, but I wanted to learn how Wall Street values companies. The fourth thing I'm doing is, that's related to investments, is Series 65 exam. What that is you may have heard of Series 7 that a lot of stockbrokers have. Series 65 is like the buyer side of this whole arena. Series 7 is more like the seller side. Series 65 is more like the buyer side. So I wanted to get that because even though I'm going to talk about stocks and real estate and stuff here in the conversation here, I can just give you a disclaimer here. I'm not an investment advisor, and it is not a tax advice, and this is not a legal advice. If you look at, I passed around this chart. You might want to share it. If you look at it, on the left side of the chart, that was sometime in 2000. This is a S&P chart. So in 2000, this chart was somewhere around 1200 something, 1300. Now it is, I believe it's around 800 or 900, something like that. What that means is, if somebody invested $1,000 in the market index fund, they are still at $1,000. They may be 1,100, they may be 1,200. If they went into individual stocks, they may be doing better or worse. But if they went into an index fund, then they are just about where they were. But if you look at the bottom of the chart, here and here, what you will see is this designates volume, how many shares are being traded. So you see, in 2000, the average daily number of shares traded was about 1 billion. And now the average shares traded is about 4 to 5 billion. What is going on? So the stocks are about level, depending upon where you were. If you invested here, went down, came back up, went down, came back up, about the same. If you invested here, you may be good. If you invested here, you may be in loss. So just about break even. That's okay. It means it may be okay, it may not be okay for some people. People who are trying to retire, they wanted to retire this year or next year, they are not as good off. But the more important thing from my point of view, and I have a couple of pages, actually 4 pages from my book that you can read later on. What's going on here? The stock market is about level, but the volume has gone up. So every time a trade is made, somebody's making money. Not necessarily the client, not necessarily the stockholder. Okay? And they're making 5 times more trades than they were making 10 years ago. So there's something going on underlying here that is eating up people's capital. That is just one aspect of what's going on. I don't have time to talk about the other aspect, what happened last Thursday. What happened last Thursday, I'll just give you a two-word explanation of that. Vacuum cleaner. Okay, what does that mean? You can talk to me and ask me about it later. So, what needs to be done here, what I advise my clients, last year, January, a client came to me, and that was right after all this, hell had broken loose in 2008, and he wanted to invest with real estate. And of course, he was getting the advice that just stay put, it's going to come back. And I told him, yeah, that's true, it's going to come back. There's no doubt about that. But do you want to ride through the roller coaster? That's the decision that you have to make. Now that decision I'm not going to make for you. So you can invest with me or you don't invest with me, it doesn't really matter. It's your choice. So, he just sat on it for several months before he finally said, listen, I wanted to invest. He was down 30–40%. But he still went ahead and invested in real estate in one of my projects. That's fine. It's their choice that they have to make. But the thing is that if I had stocks in, I had money in the stock market last Thursday, my heart would be down. And I lost a lot of money. See, I was doing heavy trading in 1997, 98 time frame. Lost a lot of money. Every time I had stocks in my portfolio, I could not sleep. I would wake up like 5–6 o'clock in the morning, wait for 9:30. What's going to happen? So it was just like a roller coaster. I said, this is not for me. I lost a lot of money. And then when I got into real estate, I was able to predict it. Okay, it's not real estate as a whole. It's not going to go down 1,000 points and come back 1,000 points. It's not going to do that. So that's the difference. So people have to make a decision how to balance their portfolio. I'm not going to say, hey, pull everything out from real estate, from stock market and put it in real estate, or pull everything out from real estate and put it in stock market. But people have to balance their portfolio, and real estate should be a big part or a substantial part of their portfolio so that they can stabilize their total portfolio. I just want to stop here.